Hi everyone, my name is Marco with Board Game Revolution and welcome to our sneak peek series. Today we have a special treat for you, and that is Final Frontier's latest game hitting Kickstarter on August 21st. That's right, the game you see to my right, Merchant's Cove. Now for this sneak peek, we're going to go over overview, the cast of characters in which you can play, how a turn is played, and then the highlights. And if you want to skip ahead, you can check out the information below on this video and I'll give you the timestamps of where you can jump to. Well, let's dive right in. Welcome to the Merchant's Cove, a place where you can find the finest goods and wares, but also houses a seedy underbelly. In this 2 to 4 player economic worker placement game, players will take control of one of the merchants within the Merchant's Cove and take individual player actions, produce goods, influence the incoming visitor market, all to sell the most goods within a 3-day period. At the beginning of the game, players will choose one of the 4 asymmetrical characters. The alchemist uses set collection and color matching to produce her goods. When playing the blacksmith, you will be using dice rolling and manipulation to produce your armor and weapons. The captain merchant ventures out into the sea searching for hidden goods and rare fish. But don't forget the cursed pirate treasure. And the chronomancer travels between time and space and placing tiles to find the most rare of relics. Players will take turns doing actions on their board. To see who is the current active player, you will check the timetable, and the player furthest to the back is the active player. Here, it is the blacksmith's turn, and they take the hire assistant action. They will choose one of the 4 townsfolk on the main board and get their special effect immediately. Here, the blacksmith gets to produce one small blue item instantaneously, adding it to their table. Next, they will see how much time has passed for this action to take place and move their disc forward on the timetable. Anytime a player's disc passes a meeple icon, they will draw a visitor from the bag and place it on one of the boats still remaining out to sea. If this meeple fills up the last spot on a boat, you will now move it into a pier of your choice. This will determine what goods can be sold at this pier, as well as their multiplier. If 2 of the 3 boats are docked into a pier, the visitors in the 3rd boat immediately go into their color faction. Once 4 boats dock into the pier, it is time to start the end of the round. You will move the marker piece 1 slot behind the furthest player. All players can take remaining actions until they all land onto the market. At this point, players will now sell the goods that they have made into the markets. From left to right, you have the large market, small market, and then the black market. Once all players have sold to each of the markets, you'll clean out the boats, refresh the townsfolk, and get ready to begin the next round. After 3 rounds, the merchant with the most gold wins. So why should you back Merchant's Cove on Kickstarter? Well, number 1, asymmetrical characters. Now, I know you're thinking, but Marco, a lot of games have asymmetrical characters, they have powers that set them apart. Well, it's different in this game. It's not about just the powers, but it's also about the mechanics and play style. So let's say you more like dice rolling and manipulation type of games. Well, guess what? They have a character for that, which is the blacksmith, where you roll dice, you manipulate the faces to create your goods. Or if you more like games like Potion Explosion, where you're drawing marbles and putting them into color sets. That's the alchemist, which is exactly that type of mechanic and how it's producing its goods. Or if you want more of a nautical movement with hidden agenda and goods type, well, there you have the captain. Or if you more like tile placement, you have the chronomancer for it and its assistant, which that's all this that character does is move around the board, replacing tiles and putting new ones out. So you have a different type of game with depending on which kind of character you play. Number 2, the market. And the way the market functions in this game is that you will draw a meeple out of a bag to set which one goes into a boat, to set the piers so you can sell to those piers. Well, you can actually rush the market or you can slow down the market depending on which actions you take and how you use your characters in a most efficient way. So you can actually see that, oh man, my opponents are all creating blue goods, large goods. I don't want a blue large good to go into that pier. So what I'll do is I'll take these big actions that will rush me around the timetable to produce and put out more meeples in a quicker time period, and then put a boat in there that doesn't function for your other opponents. Or if you're saying that, hey, you know, we all have red goods, you know, especially the small goods. Let's flood all the red people onto that middle pier, and then you can kind of set this little cooperation with one another and be like, hey, let's you know, start putting all the red meeples into these boats, and we'll fill up this market, and it's going to be a benefit for all of us. So it's really cool how they've tied that in with these boats as well as with the time function. Number 3, the underworld. So at the beginning of every game, you're going to set an underworld card to determine what the black meeples do when they're drawn from a bag. So let's say you do the original one, which is criminals. You'll put 4 meeples into the bag and 2 into its layer, and they're just negative points at the end game. But then there's others, such as the zombies, which have special abilities or actually requirements that when you draw them from the bag, you have to fill up that same boat where zombies are already at. Or let's say you have thieves that actually affect the market every market phase that you hit, which is 3 times in a game. So this is a type of mechanic that actually changes and adds a lot of longevity to a game. And that's what we're all looking for in Kickstarter, is a way and to see if this game is going to last for a long time. And that's what this mechanic does. It adds to the replayability of the game, and you can always play it with different styles too. And number 4, the artwork and components. So I know this is just a prototype, but I have to commend them on these components. I mean, these boats, I can't wait to see what they look like once they're in final production. I mean, just in its form that it is right now, this is already an awesome piece that is part of the game, and it just adds to the theme of the game. Not only that, Final Frontier has been really upgrading its games ever since Rise to Nobility all the way up to Merchant's Cove. Each time they've been doing a more and more impressive style of work and components and artwork that really give a sense of, wow, this game is amazing, but without that major top dollar cost. And that's another thing I'll have to commend Final Frontier on, is the fact that this game is just outstanding in all of its components. Not only that, the artwork. If you guys have played Rise to Nobility, you know the artwork to that felt a little cartoonish. And as the games have progressed to Robin Hood, Coloma, to now Merchant's Cove, they've found this nice blend that really sets the theme of this game, and it's a huge table presence, which I just love looking at every time I set this up. Well everyone, if you like what you see here, please make sure to check out Merchant's Cove on Kickstarter August 21st. You can check out their Facebook page or their website to find out more information. And if you like our content, please make sure to like and subscribe on this video, or go to our Facebook page and subscribe to our channel. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.